So this is a use case that I didn't expect to work when I started this project. It's more like a proof of concept project with IBM and Agility, and somehow it worked. And I wanted to go through this journey of making these Moneyball applications with H2O. So I work for H2O. It's a machine learning library you can use in R. Lime is one library to explain your predictions, also in R and Python as well. And then trying to present everything together and do quick navigations of all the results. So here we go. So Moneyball, to me, is a business problem. So it's a multi-million-dollar business problem. You want to find the undervalued players that will be useful to your team, but you want to do it before the other team get into it. So if you don't know baseball, maybe you know football, you know Real Madrid, they may spend a lot of money to get the good players. So you want to do this before they get interested in your players. So that's what we have the book, Moneyball, and then the movie about this Moneyball. But this happened many years ago, right? So before I did the project, I thought this is just a story, right? It's not true. So so now we have another opportunity to actually try to do it myself. So I step back and look at this as a business data science problem. So what do we want to solve for these problems? The first thing is that the existing forecasts you can find from websites, ESPN, other websites, they're like the projection for next year. So we got one data point for each player performance for the next year. But then if you put yourself into the player's shoes, you want to sign a contract for 3 to 5 years. You don't want to sign just one-year contract. So then you look at the team. They also want to provide a feasible contract for players to stay for 4 to 5 years. And they have to consider performance longer than just 1 year. So what we want to do for this project is to predict the performance for the 3 or more years. So we start with 3 first because we try to be more conservative this time. Okay. So this is the team. I don't know why this is still here, so let me just cancel it. Okay, it's gone. Whoops. Wasting my seconds here. Let me try again. Okay, that's better. So I start with IBM. So I met David Kearns for different projects before this. So he likes baseball. I didn't. So they want to create a project with IBM and H2O together to get into the American audience. So they said baseball should be a good bet for that. So I said, okay, let's do something like that. And then because we got Agility, who is also a partner with IBM, so we got him and a guy called Eric Kaplan. So I said, okay, another guy from Agility. Okay, so let's go. But I didn't know at that time he is the real Moneyball guy in that movie. So it's not the real life character, but the filmmaker actually interviewed Eric Kaplan for his own story to create a character in that Moneyball movie. So I was like, wow, okay. So they said they have a guy who knows baseball. That's understatement, really. So actually really happy to have him as a domain expert in this project. So I'll be the data scientist, and then David is like the connector of everyone, so bringing everyone together. Okay, so long story short, this project worked. So a player was signed for multi-years, a 4 years contract, multi-million. So this is the fake figure because the real figure is a lot higher than this, but I cannot give you the exact information for you to Google it because it's for legal reasons. I cannot reveal the name, the team, and the players. But this happened, so we have a real Moneyball here with these tools here. So we have the data from baseball data, and then we use H2O, Lime, and Shiny together to build this Moneyball app. So I want to go through quickly how different things combine together. So first of all, we start with data. We have open data called Layman. So some people, you may know the Layman baseball database. So you can have an R package with Layman. So it's like the historical statistics of baseball player performance in the past. Aggregated at the yearly level. And then because we have Ari, he has his own proprietary data, so which is like for each play, the player will throw the ball at different speed, different curvature, super rich data set. There's millions of records. So we try to use Ari's data set, his own data set, to enrich, to aggregate up to the Layman database level, like yearly level, and use that to enrich the original Layman database to build a super model for the baseball performance predictions. So because I work for H2O, so of course I use my own tools. So H2O AutoML in this case play a really crucial role because it was about 5 days before a conference that we had to give a talk about Moneyball. So I got on a plane to Las Vegas, and I only have like 8 hours time to create all this before I land in Las Vegas, because that's the point that I need to give it to Ari and say, are you okay with this? So I framed the data into a simple regression. So trying to use historical data, historical performance as features. So it could be like how many home runs you hit in the last couple of years, and then also your age, your weight, your height, all different physical attributes as features. So I use H2O because I can use it to test different models quickly. We've got linear model, we've got random forest, gradient boosting machines, deep neural network, I should say. I can tune the parameters, and then I can do an ensemble, so stacking together with just one API, one command. So I can do that quickly to build a lot of models and for different KPI, for different index in baseball. So also, if you want to try H2O, it's just install .package H2O. So this is like one of the results for one player over time. So I want to just highlight 2 things. The first of all, you can see the blue line here. The blue line, the data here. This is the actual statistics from previous years, from 2000-something to 2017. So that's what we have in the system. So you see 2 different models here. So the orange line here is the image data set. So I use the proprietary data from Ari, image, the Lemon data set, and create a better model here. When you compare that to the model with just the layman database, so you can see this is a superior model here. So let me just highlight what is happening here for like a machine learning purposes. So we're trying to use anything before and 2015 for the training, and then use the last 2 data points, so it's 2016 and 17 as the validation, so simple like a time series kind of split to validate the performance, and then we use this to predict 3 more points, so 3 more years in the future, and see how this player will perform. So this is about pitching. So WHIP is like a index for pitching, so the lower is better. So we're saying that for this player, we expect that he will perform better and better for the years to come. But of course, this is the superstar Chris Sales in the baseball in the Boston Red Sox. So of course, he's going to be a good player, but he's super expensive. So the real guy that we sign up is not Chris Sales. Okay, so that's the modeling part. And well, okay, so this is how I've tried to gain some trust from Ari, because he knows me only for about a few months by the time, so he didn't know about 3 months. So I can't ask him to trust everything that I did for him. So I try to use Lime here as a framework as to create some approximate reasonings to the black box model that I use created from H2O. So he can look at different attributes. He can look at different kind of rules and say, yeah, maybe this kind of explanation that some of the features will contribute or having a positive impact on the outcome. So he can use his domain knowledge to judge that and say, okay, this actually makes sense to me. And that's the point that he trusts my predictions, overall predictions, and he used it to kind of find out what's the player that he wants to buy or want to sign up. So, but it's not easy for him to use just numbers and just the R script, because I need to put it into an easy way for him. So I created the Shiny app. Overnight, I just didn't sleep and then created this Shiny app for him. So that's the next day he used. So he looked so serious at that moment. I didn't know why, because I didn't expect him to use it to actually find a player. So I was, oh, you look kind of tense. So we actually find players, and then he used all this information to support some of the free agents that he already had in mind. He picked one, he liked it, and then he recommended it to the team. And after 24 hours, the player was signed up with a multi-million contract deal. So it was real. So can I have a bit time for a live demo, if I can? So I got 8 seconds. Is that okay to show a live demo?
Crowd, do we want to see a demo? Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so this is the actual demo that I gave at the conference, IBM Think. So So that actually that's two things that you need to see. The two tabs here. The first one is about pitching. So there are two different players, so pitching and batting. So this guy saying the quiz the guy I saw it during the presentations. So we can look at his performance for the earn rate, one average, to different KPI, different index to identify how good he is over the years. And after you are happy with the numbers, you can go to a tab here, going explanation of the first target. Because I predict 3 points, so 2018, 2019, and 2020. So this is the graph to explain what's happening with that predictions for that player. Okay, so what Ari would do is that he had some player in mind. He would type in, for example, I can't remember the name, but I say Joe myself. He will find some player, maybe this guy here, and then he will say, okay, look at the performance. Okay, it should come up. Yeah, so he will look at, okay, he's doing okay, and then he will look at the explanation, so on. So he checked a few players during that process, and he marked down the one that he wants, and that becomes the guy who signed up at the end. So that's the Moneyball app here. So if you want to play with it, I'll be here after this talk, so you can try it on your own and look at your famous player as well. Okay, so lastly, this is like a short talk, but if you want to hear the full presentation by Ari himself and myself and David Kearns. So we have 2 events coming up. The first one is next week, actually in San Francisco, is the O'Reilly AI conference. So I won't be there because I had another things to do. So I'm really gutted I couldn't be a speaker at the AI conference. But then I do have my chance at our own conference. So it's the H2O World, H2O AI World in London. So end of October, he will come and David will come. We will talk about this together and see how it. So after February, after March, what have you found out from this Moneyball app? What have you learned from this app? And lastly, I want to give you tickets to that event. So if you guys are happy to travel to London at the end of October, this is the information you need to get free ticket for that event. And these are all the contact details for me. So if you want to find out more, get at GitHub, contact me, and that's it. Thank you very much.